ass, but no, it was a whole 4-course meal of shit that Peaches would probably eat anyways. I got sent home, but I never told my teacher about the 4-course meal I made for Peaches, and I went home with a weird shaped ass because my shit was still vibing in my pants anyways. My mom picked me up and we had to go to the store, so I walked around with Peaches meal in my pants, and I thought nobody would notice, but I realized every time I passed someone they would gag and look at me like, what the fuck? And then I told my mom that I needed to go to the bathroom, and I went and I pulled down my pants, and my whole underwear and ass was full of shit, so I took it off and just flushed my whole underwear down the toilet, and I gave my ass a deep clean, and I put my skirt back on and continued my day like nothing happened. But my mom, who didn't notice that I was holding the 4-course meal in my pants, was wondering why she could see my bare ass when I lifted my arms up, and when we got home I took a shower. In 3rd grade I wrote a kill list and put a bunch of people from my grade who I didn't like on it. Then I showed one of my friends. She didn't laugh, but I didn't think anything of it. Then 3 days later I got escorted down to the principal's office by 2 security guards, and the principal called my parents and said that I couldn't come back to school until I got cleared from a psychiatrist at a mental hospital. I got cleared on my first session, but my teacher said she didn't feel safe, so I got transferred to a different class, and nobody talked to me because they were scared I would try to kill them, and I was lonely for the rest of the year. LMAO, I have written a kill list too. Shit, you didn't hear anything. Anyway, thanks for your submission.
One time I was showering and left my phone in my room. My mom went through it and saw vids of me smoking, and she saw my nudes. She claimed I wasn't a virgin and called me disgusting. I was 14 at the time, so obviously I was a virgin. So she called my dad, and my dad yelled at me even though he's a literal addict to drugs, and tried saying I'm in the wrong, so I took my phone and ran away. At first I didn't know where to go, and one of my hosts called Miguel called me, and I told him how I just ran away from my crib, and he came to pick me up. We stayed in his crib, and from there we did the deed. A week later I got pregnant, and I was freaking out, but he found out I got pregnant and gave me $1,000 to get an abortion and to stay away from him. So right after he went to work I fucked his brother, who's like 18 years old.
This took a lot of balls to say this, and this happened very recently. If you wanted to know, monkey covering eyes. One day I was sitting down by my only friend at lunch when a random guy that I have never seen before sat down in front of me. I thought nothing of it, but he just kept staring at me, so I asked him what his name was, and he told me his name. We are going to call him Eli. I told him my name, and he told me that he liked my name and that I looked pretty. I said thank you, then I just continued on with my day. I thought that would be the only time I would ever talk to him, but every day he would sit in front of me just staring into my eyes. One day he decided to sit beside me, and I obviously thought that was weird, so I tried to get closer to my friend that I would always sit with. Then Eli got really close to me, like we were touching shoulders, but as soon as I tried to move again I felt a hand on my ass. I went to a different room to be alone and to cry. There's more cross-eyed grinning face with stuck-out tongue. Please don't make fun of me after the whole incident with he grabbing my ass without permission. I tried so hard to get away from him and to never see him again, but on Valentine's Day he asked to be my friend. He looked like he didn't even remember what he did to me. I was too kind and I said yes, but from then on he would always try to talk to me, and I was just really freaked out by him because of that one thing. One day I saw that Eli added me on Snap, but apparently my friend saw that too, so she took my phone out of my hand and accepted it. Every night he would text me asking if I would go out with him, and I would always say no, but he didn't take no for an answer. One day he told me if I didn't date him he would kill himself, so I had to say yes. Okay, I know that I am being really dramatic with him grabbing my ass, but that was the first time that it has happened to me, and I was just really uncomfortable, mostly because I didn't know him. Guys, I am reading the comments and I am kinda surprised people care. Monkey covering eyes. Okay, so a few months of dating Eli, he kept trying to get nudes out of me, but I am not about to do that, so I just sent him pictures of Summer Rae. I just thought that was funny to put in here, but this is where it gets serious. Eli told me that my thighs and my stomach were not the shape of his liking, so if I didn't change my body for him he would make up something and tell the whole school about it, which would be fine because everyone hated me there already, but I still did what he told me to do. I stopped eating for almost 2 months and I just got really bad. My hair started to fall out, I started to pass out daily and more stuff. Eventually I broke up with him and he told me that he would kill me, but I didn't worry about that. I am still recovering all of the trauma and the eating disorder, but I promise I am doing better now that I am in therapy. I am so sorry if I am being over dramatic, please don't come at me. Hey, what's up bitches, I'm back after a long month of mentally unstable. Anyways, I have a motherfucking story to tell about my experience in 3rd grade. So one day we were doing gym exercises, and my teacher made me be partners with the smelly, fishy, crusty, musty, dry and yellow nasty ass kid that nobody likes. And we had to do these weird stretches or something where you have to go under your partner's legs. Don't ask. I don't understand either. Anyway, since the kid was smelly, crusty, dusty and yellow, I didn't want to be the one who was going under her legs. So I begged to not be the one to go under her legs, but she made me. And I swear to God, the audacity of this bitch. I wanted to slap the yellow off of her and tell her how much she stinks, but I didn't, and I decided to hold my nose. And we were doing the stretches and I went under her legs and I opened my eyes and saw the worst thing I have ever seen before. Stretches and I went under her legs and I opened my eyes and saw the worst thing I have ever seen before. This musty yellow bitch was wearing a skirt and she wasn't wearing underwear. And I screamed because I made eye contact with her yellow hairy coochie. And when I yelled I took my hand off my nose to cover my mouth. And oh my god, I regret so much. Because what I smelled next was a number 6 order of sushi. And salmon for the side. It smelled like someone died. And I didn't know what I was smelling for a second, so I was like, why does it smell like a deceased fish? But then I realized I was smelling a fish habitat provided by Krusty Dusty. And everyone heard me scream and started looking over at me. And yellow Krusty Dusty looked confused. And I couldn't explain what the fuck just happened, so all I did was gag. bag, and for the rest of the day I stayed traumatized while avoiding yellow crusty dusty, and at the end of the day I heard from a group of girls that she hasn't taken a shower since the first day of 3rd grade, and it was almost the end of the year, but she lay anyways. PLS take showers almost every day, ladies and gentlemen. Grinning face with wide eyes. Thumbs up. One day I woke up and it was cold as fuck, and I mean polar bear pussy cold. I decided to take a hot and steamy creamy dreamy shower when all of a sudden my kazala kazaka hoochula poochula zakaka kakaka kalachacha pazachula zachapachula chatacha started aching severely. The pain was that unbearable I fell onto the floor and started crying, and my mom heard me and she ran in. My mom rushed me to the hospital and asked the doctor what's wrong with me. The doctor told my mom to leave so she can ask me some questions, and one of them being, am I pregnant? I said I don't know, and I took a pregnancy test and it tested positive, and I shit myself on the hospital bed. They had to bathe me and I got sent out, and my mom said what's wrong with me, and I said it was just period cramps. Y'all please help me, how do I tell my mom I'm pregnant? I'm so scared, OMG. Okay bitches, here is another story. So one Monday morning I woke up at 6 a.m. to get ready for school, and oh bitch did my bed feel like heaven. But I had no choice but to wake up. My mom dropped me off and I realized there wasn't any kids. Because it was rainy I thought everyone had to stay inside, but when I got to class it was empty as fuck. My principal then called me. She took me to the office with about 6 kids there and she told us it's a fucking student-free day. I started raging and called my mom and she said I had to wait for 10 minutes because she's busy. Bitch, for fuck's sakes just come and pick me up. An hour later my mom decided to show up and I was so fucking mad. She luckily took me to McDonald's because she felt bad. I forgave her because my fat ass was craving them Big Mac. Going back home I just chilled in my room when I started feeling slight shakes. I thought it was just an earthquake so I ignored it. But 5 weeks later my parents announced they're pregnant and my fucking dumbass really thought it was an earthquake.